Welcome back to Ithaca BJJ. Today we are discussing Jiu-Jitsu as an art. Let's get started. Let's start here with Brian and the Bomber. Now they're kind of fooling around here, but even in their fooling around, you see the artistic nature of Jiu-Jitsu. Notice the placement of Brian's leg and the lowering of his hips. This allows him to execute a perfect throw against the Bomber, even though they were just fooling around. Now look at this sweep. No athleticism, no strength, just pure technique and perfect execution. So the Bomber sets up a nice armbar here, and he just patiently follows Brian as Brian tries to get out. He wraps him up here, and then he's just simply going to sit back and not yank, but pull on the arm. Now, this is a setup that we talked about in a previous video. He does that drag and goes for the omaplata. Brian attempts to counter, but the Bomber expertly follows him. Now pay close attention here. He's totally blocking Brian's vision as he gets to that mount. He's so high up, Brian can't see what he's doing, and despite Brian having that knee up blocking the mount, because of his excellent position, the Bomber's able to take a perfect mount. Now notice here how he's going to use his jacket to apply this choke to Brian. He grabs his own lapel from the other side and then applies the choke. Again, perfect execution. He scoops that ankle and gets around for this pass. Here, well, I think he's just being a little bit mean here, just to have fun. And now, from knee on belly, he sinks in this beautiful cross collar choke. And time runs out. Now this is Tony, a local black belt who visits us often. He usually teaches at the Cornell Jiu Jitsu Club. Now notice here, Tony's actually smaller and much younger than Chris. Notice here how he blocks his entry into guard with that arm. Again, pure technique. He pulls on that pant leg to prevent Chris from coming around, and he's using his own inside leg to block Chris's hip. Notice how patient he is as he slowly moves to the north-south position and continues to block Chris's hip. This prevents Chris from coming around to recover his guard. Tony is using perfect body position and patience to set up his choke. And here he has for the final execution. And here it comes, right there. It's difficult to see, and I even had to ask him what it was. It's a modified arm-in guillotine choke he did from the top. So this is John, our local brown belt, going against a blue belt visiting from Cornell. He's the president of the Cornell Jiu Jitsu Club. Notice here how, even though John has mount, he has John's arm trap, which allows him to come back up on top. Excellent work. This guy has really good jiu-jitsu, by the way. And John goes for a really nice bully pass here to come around to side control. When people visit us at the gym, we don't try to completely destroy them. We try to have fun. And John is excellent with those legs. He's extremely flexible and uses it to great advantage. Now watch this beautiful sweep he does here. What John is really good at is utilizing those hooks. And he moves Rafi like he weighs a feather, even though he weighs 236 pounds. So this is me with that visiting blue belt. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. And so I'm just kind of fooling around here, looking for closed guard, but he does a really good job with his legs and blocking me. So I try to pull him in the closed guard here, and he uses that knee to prevent it. And here I have his ankle, and he just sits down because he knows that sweep is coming. And I love how this guy smiles almost through the entire roll. We're just having a lot of fun here. And there's that foot again. He's using that to block my advance, and I yank it out of the way because I see an opportunity for the triangle. He does an excellent job sitting straight up, posturing up to prevent me from closing this up on him. Now, this is bad form here, folks. It's a bad idea to grab your foot. You can damage your ankle. You should always grab your shin when you're looking to lock up that triangle. He hides that arm, and now I'm thinking, okay, this is something we talked about in one of our previous videos. I'm going to reverse my legs and go for an attack on that arm there. But what I could not see is that he's got his hands locked here. So I could not separate and isolate that arm. So I just come back up on top. Now I could rip this here, but I said, you know what? No, I want to see what this kid's going to do. He comes back around, and I'm back in the triangle. And finally, he decides to rotate around to get out of that triangle. And he did a pretty good job there. And now we're going to end up back in side control. He tries to bring this foot around, but I've gotten really good at blocking that. So he grabs his foot with his hand to assist him. But notice the placement of my hands and my arms to block that advance. So he goes back to side control, and he's going to attempt mount here. And I catch him in my half guard. So now he goes for a bolo. So I decide I'm just gonna hold him here. But I said, you know what? No, that's using too much strength. Let me see if he can actually get to the back here, or if I can stop him before he gets there. But he does an excellent job getting to the back and getting around my neck. I attack the arm, and then I lazily lower my arm, which allows him to just bring his arm right back around my neck. And I go ahead and tap because the round was ending, and he was going to be able to sink that in. Excellent work. Now here's Jabin and Corey. Jabin, the blue belt on top, he has excellent technique. Very unassuming guy, but he's got some dangerous jiu-jitsu. Notice here how he's going to use that knee to get into the center of Corey's back, which is going to aid him in getting that guard open. And so he's just going to sit here and wait patiently as that guard begins to open. And then he's going to start on his pass. Guys, if you're enjoying these videos from Ithaca BJJ, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by mid-March, and we need your help to get there. So help us out. Now watch here how Jabin attacks that arm. Chris tries to come to turtle, and Jabin just follows him to attack that armbar. And he sinks it in, and here comes the tap. Excellent work. So you know we got to do some stand-up here at Ithaca BJJ. So this is me and the bomber. We always start this way. Guys, I know grip fighting is boring, but you got to learn to fight grips and to fight hands. Everything starts on the feet. Now watch this. Bomber makes a big mistake here. He's too high and his hips are too high. I know here, all I have to do is lower my hips and rotate, and use my hook to get the takedown. But he does something excellent here. This is a reversal that we've all been working on here for several months. It was taught to us by one of Professor Matt's visiting blue belts. He wraps the head and traps my arm, and then he's going to rotate his hips to come back up on top. This is an excellent technique that I haven't seen very often. And now we're back on our feet. And so I'm baiting him with that single leg. Come on, man, just take the leg. And he knows I'm setting him up. But I know eventually he can't help himself. He's going to go for it. So here, watch this. I have his belt here. I'm straightening my leg, but I also have this sleeve. So he can't really wrap up my leg here. So all I have to do, drop my hips and use that hook to take him for a ride. And here I am with Vince, a newly minted purple belt. So Vince is going for this half guard pass where you take that inside knee and plant it in the hip. But we have a nice counter for that. We're going to start here by grabbing the back of his jacket. And then the next grip, you're going to see it here. I'm going to grab his pants. And then I'm just going to rotate. Normally, this takes me right to a back take. But Vince bases out nicely, so I grab the leg that's exposed and go for a pretty sloppy ankle lock here. If the ankle lock goes wrong, guys, just grab the pants and come back on top. I do it here. Lazily nonetheless, but I get there. And there you have it, folks. That is the art of Jiu Jitsu. And before we finish up, folks, special announcement. If you're in the area on March 8th, Professor Marcos Fontes will be doing a seminar for us, and we're going to broadcast that live on YouTube. Make sure you join us. Thanks again for watching. And remember to like and subscribe.